Welcome back, Joanne. This is episode 60,
Yeah,
and the last episode we did together was the disappearance of Jesse Ross from
that's right.
Chicago. Do you remember?
I do. I do remember that one.
That was a while ago.
That was
So
long.
I'm glad to have you back. Yeah, that was July of 2024, so over a year ago.
What?
I know, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
Um, but yeah, so the case we're talking about today, are you ready? You ready to jump in?
I'm ready. I'm so
Okay.
ready.
Okay. There are a lot of details in this, so I'm going to do my best not to screw it up, but it's a lot of details. So, yeah, today we're talking about it's a missing persons case, and it's the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa is his
Right.
name. So I sent you his photo, so you have that.
Yep, I do.
So he was 19 years old at the time that he went missing.
Snap.
And he went missing in 2013. And we actually just passed the anniversary of his disappearance.
Oh wow.
He went missing on August 30th of 2013. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
I'm just looking at the picture that you sent me
Yeah.
too.
Okay. So we'll start from the beginning
Hmm.
and we'll get into it.
Okay.
So Bryce David Laspisa was born on April 30th, 1994 in Springfield, Illinois,
Hmm.
to his parents, Michael and Karen Laspisa. With fiery red hair and piercing green eyes, Bryce stood out. Friends and family say he developed an artistic talent very early on, which was matched by a charming, magnetic personality. He was Mike and Karen's only child, the center of their world, and he was said to be very close with them.
Hmm.
Now, in 2012, Bryce graduated from Naperville Central High School. Around this time, his parents, who were newly retired, made the decision to move out west to California, and they settled in Laguna Niguel, which is a coastal city in Orange County and a stone's throw away from the Pacific Ocean. Now, Bryce would follow soon after. He enrolled at Sierra College, which is in Northern California. This is about 90 miles north of Sacramento. And he was studying graphic and industrial design. And so, for perspective, this put him nearly 500 miles away from his parents in Laguna Niguel. So, I don't know if you caught all of that, but it's reminding me of our time in California together.
That was fun. We need to do that again.
We should. But yeah, so anyway, so his parents are in Laguna Niguel, which is in Southern California. He's going to college up in Sierra College in Northern California. Um, so by all accounts, Bryce adjusted well to college life. He was earning good grades. He made friends, including his roommate, Sean. And he even began dating another student by the name of Kim. So, after spending the summer of 2013 back home, this was after his freshman year, Bryce returned to Sierra College in that August to begin his sophomore year. Yeah, so 2 weeks before classes, he moved back to Roseville, which is where the school is located, or
Mhm.
near where the school is located. And he told his family and friends he was really excited to be there for sophomore year. His mom later recalled a phone call around this time where Bryce sounded like himself. He was saying how he liked his classes, and he was ready for the year ahead. But soon after, things began to change very quickly. Bryce had always been a social drinker, but his friends were starting to notice that his alcohol use was becoming excessive. So that's saying something for a college student
Mhm.
to say that your alcohol use is becoming excessive. Um, Sean, his roommate, was saying that Bryce was drinking daily, sometimes up to 2/5 of hard liquor on the weekends.
Whoa.
On top of that, Bryce admitted to experimenting with a drug called Vyvanse. Have you heard of Vyvanse?
No.
Okay, what it is, it's a prescription stimulant and it's used to treat people with ADHD.
Okay. Interesting.
So he told his girlfriend Kim that he was taking Vyvanse so he could stay up late playing video games. Because I guess Vyvanse keeps you awake, but then he was combining that with alcohol.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so they say that combined with heavy drinking, Vyvanse can make someone feel less impaired than they are, which masks intoxication. It masks intoxication, clouds judgment, and in some cases causes erratic behavior.
Interesting.
Now, Bryce's behavior was becoming somewhat erratic. On August 27th, 2013, he sent Kim, his girlfriend, a cryptic text, breaking up with her essentially, saying, quote, she'd be better off without him. The next day, he texted his roommate, Sean, and said, quote, I love you, bro. Seriously, you are the best person I've ever met. You saved my soul. And it was at this time he gave Sean his Xbox and a pair of diamond earrings that he was given by his mother. So these actions really alarmed Sean, and Sean made the difficult decision to call Bryce's mom and sort of let her know what was going on.
Well,
Which
that's
again,
good.
that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, that's a huge deal, and I mean, I think that speaks volumes to Sean's like person, like as a
Mhm.
person. I think that that's good that he gave his mom a heads up.
Yes. So basically he called Karen, Bryce's mom, and explained that he was concerned with Bryce's behavior. It's unclear exactly what was discussed, but I think Karen was pretty surprised because, you know, she had been talking to Bryce and he was letting on to her that everything was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fast forward to the next night. This is the night of August 28th. Bryce called his mom
Mm-hmm.
while he was at Kim's apartment. Uh,
But after he already broke up with her.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And I need maybe to do some more research, but what I know about this is that he was at her place and she was very anxious because she actually took his keys away from him
Oh,
because he was acting so strangely. First of all, it was out of character for him to break up with her via text. By
yeah.
all accounts, he really loved her, and his according to his parents, like he was very much into her, and like so it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce is talking to his mom and it says like, you know what, mom, I'm fine. Kim's just mad because I broke up with her. I just want to go back home and get some sleep, and she won't give me my keys back. So after talking to Bryce and being reassured by him that he was fine, he gets his mom gets back on the phone with Kim and says, "Look, like just give him back his keys. Like he'll go home, he'll get some sleep." You're shaking your head. Would you love to tell the viewers why? Or the listeners rather?
Yeah, I no, let's continue first before I add my
Add your
thoughts.
thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he says, yeah, just give him his keys back and let him go home and get some rest. So Kim agrees eventually, and Bryce leaves her home around 11:30 p.m. Now, she didn't live in the same city as he did. I'm not sure how they started dating, if it was at school or what, but she lived like further away.
Mm.
So I guess it would have taken some time for him to get home, like an hour or something like that. But we're fast forwarding right now, okay? We're gonna
Mhm.
fast forward 10 hours and now it's 11 a.m.
Mhm.
Well, Mike and Karen, Bryce's parents, receive a call from their car insurance. It's an automated call. Their Toyota Highlander, the car that Bryce had been driving, but they still owned it, had used roadside assistance earlier that morning.
What time?
They said so it had been around 9 a.m. that this was used, and so they're getting this call at 11.
Hmm.
So, confused, basically what happened was Bryce ran out of gas near a town called Buttonwillow, California. And this is a small town about 285 miles south of his college and directly on the route to his parents' home in Laguna Niguel. So it was at that time they realized he's probably driving home. Oh, you know what? I skipped something. I skipped something. Kim agrees to give the keys back.
Hmm.
And he does talk to his mom, and his mom is worried. Even though she says to give the keys back, she's like, Bryce, like, I'm gonna fly up there tomorrow morning, to make sure you're okay. And he's like, no, don't come home, don't make any flight reservations, don't do anything like that. Um, so he insisted that she not fly out and say, like, don't do anything until I have a chance to talk to you because, quote, I have a lot to talk to you about.
Oh, okay.
So that's ominous, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna fast forward the 10 hours to 11 a.m.
Hmm.
Michael and Karen receive a call from their car insurance company. This is an automated call.
Hmm.
Their Toyota Highlander, which was the car that Bryce had been driving, had used roadside assistance earlier that morning. And this was about 9 a.m. And it turned out that Bryce had run out of gas near Buttonwillow, California, which is a small town about 285 miles south of his college, and directly on the route home to his parents' house in Laguna Niguel.
God.
So it's then they realize he's driving home. But there's a few things that don't add up here, okay?
Hmm.
When Karen spoke to Bryce the night prior, oh, yeah, because I guess he had called around 1 a.m. the night before after getting home from Kim's,
Hmm.
and she assumed he was at home
Yeah.
because that's about the time it would have taken for him to get home from Kim's. But phone records showed later he was actually driving south at the time he called his mom the night before. Um, and his roommate Sean confirmed Bryce never came home to their apartment after going to Kim's. So basically, one can gather that Bryce left Kim's apartment and started driving south.
Yeah.
Okay. So you following me so far?
Yep. Hmm.
Okay, so the question is, where was Bryce between 11:30 when he left Kim's and 9 a.m. when roadside assistance filled his tank in Buttonwillow? The drive should have taken about 6 hours, but it took Bryce 9 hours. So that's leaving 3 hours unaccounted for.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Karen and Michael didn't realize this right away, obviously, because they learned about the gas thing after they got this automated call. And Bryce isn't answering his phone. So they get in touch with their insurance, who puts them in touch with the roadside assistance. And they end up speaking to this guy named Christian, who's going to be somewhat of a hero in this story.
Oh, okay.
So they speak to this guy, Christian, who's the owner of Castro Tire and Truck.
Hmm.
He says he gave Bryce about 3 gallons of gas at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. So his parents were like, well, he's not answering. Like, what did he seem okay?
Hmm.
And Christian's like, yeah, he seemed fine. You know, he just needed gas. He paid $20 on his credit card. And he could tell they're worried.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so he tells his parents, listen, he's not answering his phone. I can drive back to where he was parked
Hmm.
just on the off chance he's there. But again, this is like 3 hours later, right?
Right.
So likely he's not going to be there.
Right.
But anyway, Christian goes and drives like the 15 minutes or whatever back to the spot where he gave Bryce the gas. And shockingly, Bryce was still sitting there in
What?
in his car. So he's been there for a few hours at this point. What?
The same spot
Same spot. Yep.
3 hours later, and he's still there.
He's still there. And so he doesn't yeah, he gets the gas, he does not leave.
Okay.
It's only gonna get stranger from here, Joanne, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Um, okay. So Christian calls his parents back and said, yeah, your son is still here. And so he puts Bryce on the phone, and his mom is like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, Bryce? And he literally just answers nothing. Like he's being evasive. And I don't know about you, but if my father was still alive and that's the only thing I said to him after being in the same spot for 3 hours, he would be livid. He'd be like, I'm coming to get you immediately.
Right. Like, yeah, he would make Christian stay there the entire time until my ass drove up there to pick you up.
Exactly.
Do not.
But nevertheless, I'm trying not to be judgmental. We'll save that for later.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce's mom just says, listen, Bryce, will you just start driving home? Like, will you get out of there? And so at this point, he's about 3 hours from his parents' house, right? So if he leaves right then, he should arrive to his parents' house at 3 p.m. that day. Well, I think you know where this is going. He doesn't arrive home at 3 p.m. And around 3:30, when he still didn't show up, Karen starts calling him. Bryce, that is. He does not answer. And so they're trying to sort of put their minds at ease. And, is he stuck in traffic? Did he take a detour? They're trying to tell themselves everything they can. But when it's 6 p.m., this is now 3 hours after they expected him home based on the time it should have taken. You interrupt me anytime if you want to say something.
No, just keep
Okay.
going.
So it's 6 p.m. now. So then they call the police and they file a formal missing persons report. So the police are given, I guess, Bryce's state of mind and like his concerning behavior. The police were able to get permission to get an emergency ping on Bryce's cell phone from AT&T, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guess where that ping puts him?
Don't tell me at the same spot.
Well, he's still in Buttonwillow, California. He's moved about 8 miles in the last 6 hours. He had moved to a spot, I guess it was near a hotel. It was near Highway 58 and the I-5 freeway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The official police report says the police responded and came upon him at 9:33 p.m. At this point, he's been in Buttonwillow for 12 hours and no one knows what he's doing. So the police are trying to see what's going on? Like your parents are really worried about you. They filed a missing persons report. And so they talk to him. He says he's just relaxing, hanging out. But they talk to him. They give him a field sobriety test. He passes the test. They ask him, "Can we search your car?" They're like, they do the whole thing. Are there drugs or alcohol in your vehicle? He says no. They search the car, and they find nothing. They find nothing illegal.
Okay.
So yeah, they're like, listen, your parents are worried about you. You should call them and let them know what's going on. And it's at this point, the police say he seems really hesitant to um to call his parents. But after the police insist, I guess he dialed the police used his phone to dial his mom or call up his mom's number or whatever and basically forced him to call. And so he calls, his parents pick up. Obviously, at this point, they're angry, but they don't want to say anything too drastic because of his fragile. They don't want to do anything that would deter him from coming home. So he's like, what? His mom is like, what are you doing? And he just is like, Mom, I'm just putting my stuff back in my car because they searched my car. And so after some back and forth of this, him not really giving any information, he, the police get back on the phone And
Mm-hmm.
the mom is like, listen, I'm really worried. Like, is he okay to drive? And then the police are like, yeah, I mean, he seems lucid. He's not, you know, he passed the sobriety test, all this stuff, right? So, yeah, eventually the police leave. Now, meanwhile, after this, sometime between 10 and 11 p.m., Christian calls the family back because he had a missed call from them, which was from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And by this point, he was actually kind of concerned too. He's like, hey, have you heard from your son?
Mm-hmm.
And his mom is like, yeah, like the police found him and like he was just sitting there all day for we don't know why. And Christian's like, what? That's so weird. Like, and so Christian's like, I can go back out there, like, and check if you want, which he didn't have to do. And his mom was like, no, like the police were just there. Like they assured me he's fine to drive. Like he should be on his way home by now. But Christian, like after they get off the phone, Christian goes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Guess who's still sitting over there? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Bryce is still sitting there. Okay. Now
Okay.
here's how good of a person Christian is.
Mm-hmm.
He calls Christian calls Bryce's parents and is like, listen, I am going to make your son start the car and I'm going to follow him on the freeway to make sure he gets on the highway and that he's on his way home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so like, oh my God, thank you so much. So this man insists Bryce get on the road.
Mm-hmm.
He follows him for 10 miles on the
Mm-hmm.
freeway. Okay. So then he calls the parents back. He gets off eventually after following Bryce for 10 miles. He gets off and goes back home or whatever. And he calls his parents and he says, okay, your son is driving now. I followed him for 10 miles down the freeway. He's on his way. And they're like super grateful. They're like, thank you so much. Um, let's see. Yeah. So 12:30 a.m. This is about an hour and a half later. Bryce stops for gas and buys a soda. Karen calls Bryce at 12:50 and he does not pick up. About an hour later, he does pick up. So him and his mom talk, and he said he was on the I-5, because I guess again, he's killing time. And all he says to his mom is, I was on the I-5 and then I took a detour, but now I'm back on the I-5. And his parents by this point are like, okay, I want you to prove to us that you are on the way home. What landmarks do you see? Like, what things do you see out the window? What do the signs say? He doesn't give them anything. He's just like, oh, it's dark. I can't see anything. And he's just continuing to be evasive. Okay. So they insist, they're like, you just keep your cell phone on and keep going, right? Well, about 20 minutes later, Bryce calls back to his mom and is like, I'm tired. I'm too tired to drive. And I want to pull off the road to sleep for a few hours. And, as frustrated as his parents were, but given his strange demeanor, and he would have been up for like over 24 hours at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, actually, that's probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, just find somewhere safe to sleep for a few hours. I don't know about this, but whatever, we can save that. So he says, I'm going to park in a residential area. I'm pulling off. I'm going to just sleep in this residential area. And they're like, okay, call us as soon as you wake up and that you're back on the road. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to fast forward again.
Mm-hmm.
8 a.m.,
Oh my
six
God.
hours later,
Uh-huh.
the doorbell rings at the Laspisa household.
Mm-hmm.
And they rush to the door because they're thinking, oh my God, Bryce is finally home.
Mm-hmm.
We can slap some sense into him and ask him what the hell he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not Bryce, it's a police officer.
Oh
The
God.
police officer says, do you guys own a beige 2003 Toyota Highlander? And at this point, their stomach drops and they say, yes, that's our son drives that car.
Mm-hmm.
The police officer goes on to explain that they found the vehicle abandoned in the Castaic Lake area. which is about 2 hours from their house. And they found it on an access road that was leading to a recreational area. And they found this vehicle at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So this is what, 3-ish hours after they speak to him. The vehicle is found lying on its side at the bottom of a 25-foot embankment, but he was nowhere to be found. So like his laptop, his cell phone, his wallet, all of that was inside the car. And they actually found a few drops of Bryce's blood in the vehicle, just a few drops. So they thought they didn't know the extent of what his internal injuries would have been, but based on what they found, they didn't think it was a crash. It was a serious crash, but it wasn't serious enough to like, for him to like, I don't know, to die from it. But like I said, they don't know the extent of the, what am I trying to say? The internal injuries. And he's nowhere to be found. So he obviously got out somehow. Which brings me to my next point. The rear window of the vehicle was smashed. And when they investigated this, they decided, or they were able to determine, they believed that the window was broken from the inside and not during the crash. So they think he punched out the rear window or kicked it out to get out. And they think that's how he exited. Also found at the scene, there was a duffel bag that was unzipped. Let's see, where else? Unzipped duffel bag. And it looked like it had been gone through. What's the word?
Ruffle through?
Ruffled, yeah. But there was no sign of Bryce. What else did they do? So there's, like I said, Castaic Lake was this area that it was a nearby lake to where this crash was discovered. They had divers that spent 4 days in the water and they could not find a trace of Bryce in the lake.
Wow.
And then let's see. Okay, then I'll go here next. So after they were able to review a few cameras, there was a camera, I guess, like near the entrance of this recreational area. So they determined after he got off the phone with his mom at 2:09 in the morning, and he said, "I'm going to pull off at a residential area and sleep." He was actually pulling into this access road that led him to this recreational area. Now the camera captures him at 2:15 a.m. going into this road, and it never shows him coming back down. It shows him going in again at 4 something in the morning. So in order for that to be a thing, he would have to follow the road, I guess, for a good distance, and then it'll take you back out to a main road. So he would have had to do a big loop and double back. So basically they theorized that he did that. So he enters this recreational area at 2:15. 2 hours later, he enters it again. And that would have been like about an hour before the vehicle was discovered. Now, another detail is that when they did their investigation of the car, they determined that when he was going down the embankment, he hit the accelerator. So he didn't hit the brake, he hit the accelerator.
Interesting. Yep.
And then I mentioned that they had divers in the water searching for him. They didn't come up with anything. They also had some search dogs that they used to track his scent. It tracked his scent down near the lake over a bridge and over to a gas station / truck stop. And then it disappeared. So I'm going to let you, I have just a few more things to get to, and then I'm going to let you speak. Unless you have anything you want to say now.
No, continue.
Okay. And then we'll open up to the discussion. Okay. So that's basically all the details we have in this case. Obviously, as you can see, there is a variety of things, but I wanted to share a comment that was posted on Reddit 4 years ago by a now deleted account. which I thought this was really interesting. I mean, take it with a grain of salt because it's someone on the internet, but I wanted to read this, okay? And this was posted on like a discussion board discussing his case. Because somebody said, I will never understand why his parents didn't just go pick him up.
Yeah.
I knew
Yes.
you were itching to say that. I knew it.
Oh my God. But I was like, no, let's just continue. I don't want to, derail all this and whatnot. But anyway, go.
Yeah, so somebody had been like, I don't get why his parents didn't just pick him up. And now this comment is a response to that person.
Mhm.
Okay. So this person says, quote, "This is the question that has me losing sleep. I've posted about this case in other threads, alluding to the fact that we aren't being given all the information. I'm also in the position of actually knowing the family and have been given the okay to share a lot more information. I'm not sure if this is the best place, but it's a start. I guarantee that what I'm about to share is going to be a bombshell to the narrative. It's been mentioned by someone previously that Bryce was given an ultimatum to stay off drugs or be cut off from the family's financial support. I wholeheartedly believe that to be true, and that it weighed heavily in Bryce's decision to leave Karen and Mike in the rearview mirror. He knew they would do so. Remember, he was busted in Chicago and convicted on an MDMA possession charge prior to the family, -1 anyway, more on that below, moving to California. It was a major embarrassment to the family, or more specifically, Mike and Karen, who, as you know, are his parents.
Mhm.
In Bryce's freshman year, he was kicked out of the dorms at Sierra for partying related issues. Remember, he was just 19 at the time of his disappearance. I'm not sure it's been mentioned as yet, but the Laspisas, especially Karen, should be pressed about this fact because there's not been a single mention of it. How many people get kicked out of college dorms for partying? Must have been one hell of a rager because he was not allowed back at the dorms and he was forced to move to room with friends. The narrative states that Karen is the only one to have spoken with Bryce during this ordeal, and I believe that to be true. I also believe that Karen has not been forthcoming with Mike, her husband, about the complete details of her conversations with Bryce throughout it.
Mm.
Why do I believe what I do? It's because I know one aspect of the quote model parents narrative to be 100% false, fabricated from the whole cloth, most likely to save face for their friends and community, if not to indulge Karen's obsession with reality TV. What is it that they've been hiding? What secret am I privy to that will shed new light on the Laspisa family? Bryce Laspisa was not an only child. I repeat, Bryce Laspisa was not an only child. It has not been mentioned yet that Mike Laspisa had a child from a previous marriage who was 5 years Bryce's elder. But there you have it. Bryce's stepsister lived with her mother until her untimely demise at the age of 13. And that means her mom died, not her. The way it's worded is
Oh,
confusing. So
oh, okay, okay,
she lived with her mother until she was 13 when her mother died.
okay. Got it, got it. Mhm.
Okay. And that is when she began to live permanently with Mike and Karen. To put it bluntly, Karen horribly abused her, and the resulting mental health challenges, PTSD among others, that arose from the abuse prompted Karen and Mike to kick her out of the home, cut her off financially, and ultimately abandon her at a time in her life when she needed it most. Tell me, folks, given this verifiable fact, does it really seem so unlikely that Karen and Mike Laspisa's son would want nothing to do with them? He was battling addiction, probably meant to ask for help before finally settling on destroying and giving away property bestowed to him and offering a final quote, "fuck you," by destroying the car, which was registered to them, of course.
Mhm.
I can provide all manner of proof to the group mods privately, if need be, to substantiate this information. The legacy of the Laspisa family appears to be that of abandoning loved ones in their greatest time of need, rather than to be faced with their embarrassing failure as parents. Now, I want to specify that that was a comment on Reddit. This person claims to have proof that they know the family, but I just have to put that in there that I don't know this to be true other than what I read.
Mhm.
Okay? So in conclusion, what was bothering Bryce back in August of 2013? Did his substance abuse issues cause him to have some sort of psychotic break? Was he trying to end his life by giving away possessions and speeding down an embankment? Was he trying to run away from his family and his life and start something new? Is that why his scent was traced to a truck stop and then it stopped? What happened to him after the crash? Did he walk away? Did he have horrible injuries that no one knew about and died somewhere and we just don't know where his body is? Or is he out there somewhere? So that's the story of Bryce Laspisa.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right? That's what I mean by when I said there's so many details, it's just like
Yeah.
all of the different little things you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll pause now so you can react.
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, when I was like shaking my head and you're like, would you like to add anything? I'm like, no. But I mean, really, my original thought is, why the hell didn't you just drive down there and pick him up? Like, if that happened to me and like, and that like with my parents, like my parents would have come and picked me up. Or if I had kids of my own, like I would have done that. Like your ass is staying there. Like you're not going anywhere. I'll come and pick you up. It's just 3 hours away. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, and I think with that already says a lot about the parents, or at least the mom. Because we didn't really hear much from the dad. We're just kind of getting information based on like what we understand from the mom's point of view. So I will say that. So, I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense. And I know that comment on Reddit was, made by someone who allegedly knows the family. But, and I'm not going to say one thing or another, but I mean, it makes a little bit of sense to me just based on the fact that they didn't go and pick him up. I hate that it's just like this one action, but I mean, to me, that says a lot, like to me, actions speak louder than words. So yeah, but I mean, I actually don't think that the guy died. I think he might actually still be alive somewhere. I also don't think that he died in that quote unquote crash or accident, whatever you want to call it, because they only found a few drops of blood. That to me doesn't say that, there's a lot of damage to his body or anything like that. I think that he walked off. So you said the search dogs found his scent at a bridge by the lake. And
Yeah,
then
pull up the exact I'd have to pull up the exact path, but all I remember is it followed it around the lake towards a bridge and then it ended at a truck stop.
yeah, So I mean, he probably got picked up.
That's what
Like,
I'm thinking too. And I usually don't, in a lot of cases, when someone's like, oh, they went off to start a new life or whatever, I'm like, no. But
yeah.
this one, I actually
Yep.
think it's possible.
Yeah. There's a high for this one. I think there's a higher chance that this guy just up and left. And really, I think that, you're kind of like, why the hell was this guy? Why the hell was Bryce just sitting there for hours, like not wanting to go? Clearly, something was keeping him. Clearly, he was procrastinating. Clearly, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go home. He didn't want to tell his parents whatever it was that was happening because of whatever aftermath was supposed to, was going to happen after he tells them that. And so I think he avoided it the entire time. And then I think he really did up and leave. I mean, I don't know what could have happened to him afterwards, but I think that at the time of his disappearance, I think he was alive.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, yeah. Now, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but his parents say that he would never have caused them this amount of pain. But as we know, I mean, let's say there is credibility to this comment. I mean, that's pretty damning. I mean, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't really sound like they know their son. either.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the very beginning, right? They're all saying like, oh, he was so, I don't remember the exact words, but I think it was kind of like, oh, like everything seemed perfect and, whatever. Like there just seems to be some distance between the parents, or at least the mom and
Hmm.
Bryce. Um, because to me, you don't party that hard. You don't have like substance abuse in that way unless you're trying to escape from something. That's generally the case.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good point.
so, if everything were that perfect, in my opinion, I don't think that he would have been abusing substance.
Yeah. Yeah. Because his friends, they all said it was beyond like his normal level of social,
Yeah,
it was becoming
right,
serious.
right. And it's like what you were saying, like that's saying something as college students.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, like if other college students are noticing how much more this person is drinking or partying or doing drugs, whatever, I think that that says a lot.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's just, yeah.
I really tried not to I really tried not to blame
Mhm.
the parents or try to
Yeah,
judge them for their actions.
right.
I really did because I mean it's easy for everybody else to say, "Oh, why didn't they just go get him?"
Mhm.
Um I don't know. I tried to be more fair with their reasoning, but it's hard because I feel like my parents would have done something different.
Yes. No, I 100% agree. And I'm with you too. Even at the very beginning, I didn't want to say anything because I just didn't want to come off. I really didn't want to judge,
Yeah.
but it's just, I mean, they had so many opportunities
Yes.
for this. Like if they had just gone at the very beginning, or even like the second time around, knowing that he wasn't going to do anything, they could have just picked him up, and then we wouldn't even be talking about this case right now. Or
Yeah.
it would be a different variation of it. Who knows, right? Um, but like this whole like entire time of like what 24 hours span, and it's just 3 hours to get there and then 3 hours to come back. Like they could have done this like three times,
That's a good point.
four times actually. They could have gone there and back four times round trip,
Yeah.
and they would have had him.
And I mean, even if she had not told Kim to give him his keys back, what would happen? What would
Exactly.
have
And that
happened?
too. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because when you were first sharing that with me, I was like, what the hell? Like that doesn't make any sense to me, first of all. If they knew how far away, because it sounds like it's like a 2 hour drive between Kim and Bryce's place, right? Is it about 2 hours? That seems like a pretty far.
Yeah, like an hour and a half, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, hour and a half. And it's like 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have been like, no, let him stay there. Why is he driving this late?
Yeah.
Why give him the keys back? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
I guess,
Like they're just like it just seems to me like they're like so like hands off to a fault.
yeah. Well, I just think I also again, I'm just saying this devil's advocate, right?
Mhm.
Honestly, because we're discussing.
Right?
We have all the knowledge of what happened afterwards.
Sure.
So we have that benefit that they might not have had. I mean,
No,
right? You're like,
I
no,
know.
that's stupid.
I like yes, but no. To me, it doesn't matter because it doesn't take away from the fact that it is 11:30 at night and then this guy would have had to drive an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't like it doesn't matter whether or not you would have that knowledge afterwards or whatever. Like to me that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I saw a comment on one of the videos or something I watched about the case that was like, if my son's girlfriend calls me up and tells me like shares this stuff with me, I would literally be like, okay, handcuff him to the bed. I'll be there in 2 hours.
Yeah, no shit. Exactly. Like that's exactly what I mean. Like,
I mean, they live further away, but yes.
yeah, like it just doesn't, like some of these things just don't really add up. Like they don't seem to be very concerning parents to me.
Well, they did call the insurance. They called. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know.
I agree.
I know.
They did report him missing. They called the police. They called Christian. They did all these other things.
They did what was good on paper.
Yeah, that's okay.
These are all like things that you check mark off on a piece of paper. Oh, did I call the police? Yeah, I did. Did I, like, whatever. They didn't even, like, if Christian didn't insist on following Bryce, they would have just been like, oh, it's fine. But no, Christian was the one who followed Bryce and made him turn the car on and like drive for 10 miles before he like took off.
Yeah.
Like kudos to Christian.
Yeah, he gets a lot of love for this case because of his actions.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I mean, he went above and beyond here.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He, in my opinion, he did more than the parents did.
Yeah, that's a very common sentiment amongst people that discuss this case. So, yeah. Wow. Very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
That comment on Reddit adds an extra kind of oomph behind that.
Flavor. Mm-hmm. Yep.
What'd you say?
Yeah, flavor.
Yes.
Flavor, yeah. Because I mean, like, after you read that, I was like, oh my gosh. And also, I mean, it really does, this whole like, this whole side of it where like the family is so much more worried about like saving face and, you know, how they come across and like their community and all of this, that makes so much sense to me because, you know, and I hate to just like, you know, go with this based on one comment, right? But it really does add flavor because at the very beginning, it's like, oh, they said that this is a single, like they have just one kid. They never advertised the fact that they had another kid.
Yeah. It's been widely reported that he's an only child, which is why I started even before I put that comment in there. I literally, as you know, I started it off by describing.
Yep.
Because that's how I've seen it described.
Yep. Exactly.
I wanted to see if I could show an interview. I wanted to show like just so you can get a sense of how the parents are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Today, like many days, it's quiet. 3 years ago, this was a potential crime scene, a ground zero of sorts, a concentrated effort to find 19-year-old Bryce Laspisa. The Orange County teen was traveling home from Northern California when police found his SUV overturned.
Investigators came across his laptop and other valuables when they searched the road. But as for Bryce Laspisa, he was nowhere to be found.
Divers hit the water, searching the lake's murky bottom for clues, as rescue teams combed the area from the sky. But still, no answers.
A thorough search, just like they did on Friday. They came back again today, and we still haven't found the missing person yet.
4 days later, a cyclist found a body set on fire in the same area.
Condition of the body right now, because of being burned, we're unable to determine who that is, and the coroner's going to have to provide a positive identification for us.
Pausing to say it was not Bryce.
Okay.
Didn't want to give anyone false hope. And yeah, it was not Bryce.
In a tragic coincidence, investigators determined the burned body was not Bryce. 3 years after...
I guess I could have just shut the hell up and let it finish, huh?
Their son's disappearance, parents Karen and Michael Laspisa still hold hope for their son's safe return.
We keep hope alive. We have heard stories of people that have been missing for years and that are found. And that's always our hope, that we keep our faith that Bryce will be found.
when an unidentified body is found in the area. The Laspisas contact a detective to see if it's their son.
The DNA is there, the dental records are there, the fingerprints are there. So if remains are found, we know that he would be identified.
But to this day, no remains found have been identified as Bryce. Billboards asking for help to find the missing teen have gone up in Castaic, but to no avail.
We still have people send in just tips as well as some photographs, but there's never been any confirmed actual sighting of Bryce.
Theories to why Bryce disappeared continue to circulate. Some people, including law enforcement, believe he left voluntarily.
If Bryce is still alive out there, that he doesn't know who he is. I mean, because I truly don't believe that Bryce is willingly not contacting me.
Through the clouds of mystery is unwavering hope and a painful drive to find answers. A parent's quest to find their son.
It's been 3 years of a nightmare.
But 3 years later, still no word. Still no answers. Reporting for The Signal, I'm Austin Dave.
You know, Joann, you can't help. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, easily influenced, but you can't help but feel some pain. I think wherever the truth lies, it's somewhere maybe in the middle and more complex than we can understand, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Like, no, no.
Yeah. My pain goes out to Bryce, not the parents. That may come across as, I don't know, whatever.
Not even a little bit?
No, because the entire time I was watching her speak in this interview, like, I was like, where are her emotions? Like, I have no idea where her emotions are. She's just like very matter of fact about it. Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, got all these tears.
You really are a savage.
But like, I just, yeah, like I mean, I hope that Bryce is still alive, and I hope that he can find peace and in whatever, has been that he was trying to escape from. But I mean, even in that interview, like, there's like, the dad is absent. Like, there's no camera on him. He's not the one talking. It's all about the mom. Like, I think that all of this speaks a lot about their family dynamic. And then, like, the entire time how they handled the situation was not the way that, in my opinion, a caring parent would handle it.
That's fair. A lot of people agree with that. I mean, I guess, yeah, I just don't know. In conclusion, I don't know.
Yeah. I actually do have hope for Bryce to still be alive out there. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I really do.
He's so recognizable though, too. It's like,
yeah, right.
But I do agree with you. I think this could be a case where he's out there.
Right. Yep.
And he just wanted, for whatever reason, to start over.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Whatever pain he was, that he was feeling, whatever he was experiencing, he wanted to escape it and leave all of that behind. Just life. Like, I think that this is one of those rare cases where that could be it, and like, you've done a number of cases at this point, and, also like a number with me, and where we did it together. And it's like, this is like the one that I'm like, I really want him to be alive. I really think that there's a higher chance that he is alive right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if Bryce was still alive today, he would be 31 years old. At the time of his disappearance, he was 19, 5'11", about 170 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue and white checkered shirt, white cargo shorts, and a size 12 red and white Nike shoe. He is a Caucasian male with red hair and green eyes. He has a tattoo of a Taurus bull head and his birthday and Roman numerals on his upper left arm. But it's one of those things. Maybe this man wants to be maybe this man wants to be missing.
Mm-hmm.
However, anyone with information should contact the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office at 323-890-5500. And I believe if they do locate Bryce, if he doesn't want his family to know where he is, they have to abide by that because he's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they can do is talk to the parents and say, you know, we were able to make contact with your son and he does not want to be found. Then they have to abide by it,
Mm-hmm.
as much as it would hurt, you know. But thank you, Joann, for doing this. Yeah, I feel like you offer really good insights.
Thank you. This was a really good case. This is a really interesting case. And I do appreciate all of the details. It's like, it's very interesting for sure. Thank you for sharing this with me and with everyone.
Of course. Yeah. I hope he's happy. If he is still with us, I hope he's happy.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
One minute and 43 seconds is dedicated to my number one fan. Thanks, Dad. I love you and I miss you. This podcast has been approved by Skipper the Cat. Right, Skippy?